Imagine a world without light, without warmth, a world shrouded in an endless, terrifying night. This was the reality for our earliest ancestors. The sun was their only comfort, and when it set, darkness brought with it a primal fear. Predators lurked in the shadows, and the cold was a constant, relentless threat. But amidst this struggle for survival, a new force was about to enter the human story, a force that would change everything. Fire. At first, fire was not a tool. It was a terrifying spectacle of nature's power. A lightning strike igniting a tree, a volcanic eruption spewing molten rugbies were scenes of pure destruction. Our ancestors would have watched from a safe distance, their minds a mix of awe and terror. They saw animals flee in panic from the advancing flames. They felt its scorching heat and saw how it consumed everything in its path. To them, fire was a monster, a destructive god to be avoided at all costs. But curiosity is a powerful human trait. Perhaps a brave or desperate individual, driven by hunger after a wildfire, ventured into the charred landscape. There, they might have found the roasted remains of an animal, cooked by the very flames they feared. The taste would have been a revelation. Cooked meat is not only easier to chew and digest, but it also provides more energy than raw meat. This simple, accidental discovery was a massive evolutionary turning point. It was the first hint that this destructive force could also be a source of nourishment. The next leap was even bolder, capturing the flame. Imagine the scene. After a storm, a single branch is still smoldering. Instead of letting it die out, one of our ancestors picked it up. This was an act of incredible courage, a conscious decision to engage with the unknown. They learned to feed this captured flame, adding dry leaves and sticks to keep it alive. This was the birth of the first campfire, a tiny, flickering beacon of human ingenuity in a vast, dark world. Suddenly, the night was no longer terrifying. The campfire became the heart of the community. Its light pushed back the darkness, keeping nocturnal predators at bay. Its warmth provided comfort against the biting cold, allowing our ancestors to survive in climates they never could have before. The world was no longer just a place to survive. It was becoming a place to live. This newfound safety allowed for something extraordinary to happen. Around the fire, people gathered. They were no longer just a scattered group of individuals. They became a community. The fire became the first living room, the first town square. As they sat together, sharing food and warmth, they also began to share something else. Stories. The flickering flames cast dancing shadows on the cave walls, inspiring tales of the hunt, myths of creation, and legends of heroic ancestors. Language flourished in this shared space, growing more complex and nuanced. Culture, the very fabric of human society, was woven in the firelight. The control of fire also sparked a technological revolution. Our ancestors discovered that heating certain types of stone, like flint, made them easier to shape. This led to sharper, more effective tools and weapons. They could create stronger spear tips for hunting and better blades for butchering and scraping hides. This mastery over materials gave them a significant advantage, making them more efficient hunters and better equipped to defend themselves. Humanity was no longer just reacting to the environment. We were actively starting to shape it to our will. Then came the greatest leap of all, creating fire on demand. No longer dependent on lightning strikes or other natural sources, our ancestors learned to generate fire themselves. One of the earliest methods was the friction of rubbing two pieces of wood together. Imagine the patience and effort this required. The relentless rubbing, the first wisp of smoke, the tiny, precious ember that had to be carefully nurtured into a flame. Another method involved striking flint against a mineral like pyrite to create a spark. This was true mastery. The ability to make fire whenever and wherever it was needed was like holding the power of the sun in their hands. With this power, humanity began to spread across the globe. Fire was the key that unlocked new territories. It allowed our ancestors to survive the harsh ice ages, to venture into the frozen north, and to cross continents. Every new settlement, every new migration was centered around the hearth. Fire was the portable, life-sustaining technology that fueled our global expansion. As societies grew, so did our use of fire. It became central to new innovations. We learned to fire clay, creating the first pottery. These durable, fire-hardened vessels allowed us to store food and water a critical step towards a more settled way of life. This led directly to the agricultural revolution. Fire was used to clear land for farming, creating fertile fields from dense forests. The ability to cook grains like wheat and rice unlocked a massive new food source, allowing for larger, more permanent settlements. Villages grew into towns, and towns into the first great cities of civilization. The story of fire is the story of us. It transformed us from a fragile species at the mercy of nature into the dominant force on the planet. It warmed our homes, cooked our food, forged our tools, and led our way through the darkness. It gathered us together and gave birth to language, culture, and community. Every time you light a candle, turn on a stove, or sit by a cozy fireplace, you are connecting to an ancient legacy. You are part of an unbroken chain of discovery and innovation that began with a single, courageous ancestor reaching for a smoldering branch. The flame they nurtured is the same flame that burns in our hearts today, a flame of curiosity, ingenuity, and the unyielding human spirit. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into our past fascinating, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories about how we became who we are today.